Yo, what is up, fam? It's your boy Legend, and I'm back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. What if Naruto was the strongest Shinigami? If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. The like goal for this video was going to be 6 likes, and you already know what the sub goal is for the end of the month. It's 1,100 subs, so let's see if we can hit that. Now, my internet is back up. Today it's going to be a short video. I'm not going to lie, but I'm also going to try to upload a short today as well. But without further ado, let's just get into this intro so we can start this. What if? 10 days had passed since Ichigo Kurosaki saw the Hollow's face crack along with his world. In that time, life had mostly returned to normal, or at least it pretended to. The sun still rose, the teachers still droned, and students still whispered in bored voices behind textbooks. But Ichigo's mind had drifted far beyond the chalk-covered blackboards and the hum of fluorescent lights. He sat in class, elbow resting on his desk, chin balanced lazily on his palm of his hand. His amber eyes were half-lidded, watching the dust dance in the sunbeam that cut through the windows. The lesson, whatever it was, washed over him like static, white noise he didn't care to tune into. Behind him, Tatsuki was chatting animatedly with Orihime. Her laughter was soft, but Ichigo wasn't listening. Something tugged at his attention, a presence. Turning his head slightly, his eyes narrowed when he saw him, a boy around his age standing just outside the classroom door, peering in at him with unblinking focus. He had sharp black hair and rectangular glasses, and his glare was like a dagger aimed straight at his chest. Ichigo frowned. He didn't know this guy. He had never even seen him before, but the hostility in that stare was unmistakable, as if the boy had already decided Ichigo was his enemy. Then, as casually as if he belonged there, the boy stepped into the classroom, his school bag slung over his shoulder. He walked right past Ichigo's desk without a word, never breaking eye contact until the last second. He took the seat in a far corner by the window, setting his bag down with controlled precision. Ichigo couldn't shake it, the feeling that pulsed throughout the room like a distant heartbeat. It wasn't spiritual pressure exactly. It was sharper, cooler, refined. It felt like Rukia's once did, but there was something else underneath it, something bitter. Ichigo didn't recognize the boy, but he recognized that feeling. He was like him, only different. And what Ichigo didn't know was that Uryū Ishida knew exactly who he was, a Soul Reaper, and that alone was reason enough to hate him. The Soul Society was quiet tonight. The cool wind drifted softly across the rooftops of the Sayurite, and the pale glow of the moon bathed the barracks in soft silver light. But not all was peaceful under the moonlight. Naruto Uzumaki stood perfectly still in the courtyard of the Squad 1 barracks, his golden hair ruffled slightly by the breeze. His expression was calm, too calm for someone who had a blade pressed against his throat. Behind him, Captain Gin Ichimaru stood, his usually smiling eyes narrowed into slits of quiet fury. His zanpakuto, Shinsho, rested horizontally across Naruto's exposed neck. The air around them was heavy, thick with unresolved tension and spiritual pressure. "Put the blade away, Jin," Naruto said calmly, eyes focused on the horizon ahead. "It would be very bad if I had to draw my zanpakuto, or if Unohana saw us like this." Jin's jaw clenched at the mention of the 4th Division captain. He stared hard at Naruto's back for a few seconds, longer, silent, as if weighing whether or not to push further. Then with a sharp flick, he pulled his Zanpakuto away and slid it back into its sheath. Naruto finally turned to face him. His expression was unreadable, but not hostile. "Now," he asked, voice firm but not confrontational, "care to tell me what's wrong?" Jin exhaled, the tension in his body easing just a little bit, but his eyes still simmered with pain behind the squint. "I found out something tonight," he said slowly. "Something I didn't want to hear, but I already suspected it." Naruto waited, silent. Jin's mouth tightened before he spoke again. "Rangiku. She's falling for someone else. I didn't want to believe it, but it's true. And that someone is you." Naruto's brow furrowed slightly, but he said nothing. "I don't blame her," Jin continued, his voice lower, bitter. "I haven't been around. Missions, responsibilities, secrets. I know I've been a bad love interest. She's seen less and less of me. Meanwhile, you, strong, mature, always there. Of course she'd start to notice you. I would too." His hands curled into a fist at his sides. "I know you don't feel the same way about her. I know that, but that doesn't make it hurt any less." Naruto looked at him for a moment, then slowly nodded. "I didn't pursue her. You have my word." "I know," Jin muttered. "That's the worst part. You didn't even try, and still." But before either of them could say any more, the air suddenly rippled, and a flash of icy blue spiritual pressure burst beside them. Captain Hitsugaya landed on a rooftop with a forceful gust of wind. Uryū was already drawn and in his hand. His normally calm and composed expression was twisted with visible rage. His breath was short and sharp in the night air. "Toshiro?" Naruto asked, confused. "What's going on?" The young captain's eyes didn't leave Jin. "This doesn't involve you, Naruto-san. I suggest you leave. I don't want you getting wrapped up into this." Naruto could feel it now. Hitsugaya's spiritual energy was fluctuating unstably. He was shaking with emotion. His voice was calm, but his posture was anything but. That calm shattered when he vanished in a flash step. Clang! Toshiro reappeared mid-air, his Zanpakuto crashing into Jin's with a furious strike that echoed across the courtyard. Jin raised his blade in time, steel clashing against steel in a shower of spark. "So it's true then," Jin muttered. "You manipulated her." Hitsugaya roared, his voice echoing. "You twisted her emotions. You knew how much Momo admired Aizen, and you used that trust to make her raise her blade against me." Naruto's eyes widened at the realization. Hitsugaya continued, voice hoarse. "She cried, Jin. She screamed at me with tears in her eyes while her hands bled from gripping her sword so tightly. She couldn't even understand why she was doing it, but she did. For you, because she thought I killed Aizen." Jin's eyes narrowed, but he didn't counterattack. Naruto stepped forward slightly. "Hitsugaya, enough." "No!" Toshiro shouted without looking at him. "This is between me and him. I've kept this bottled up for far too long." The courtyard shuddered under the weight of their spiritual pressure, a confrontation between captains, teetering on the edge of violence, and Naruto stood between them, calm no longer. This night wasn't over yet. Time skip. It was now the night after, and Rangiku was putting her comfort into the hands of Naruto. She had went to Jin, but Jin had turned her away, not wanting to see her at all. So now, she was at Naruto's place, the two of them talking, and Naruto was sitting there next to her on the couch, while shirtless. It was hard for Rangiku to talk normally, and every time she looked into his direction, she would just end up staring at him. It was to the point that she was drooling and had to go to the bathroom to clean herself up. She splashed water onto her face, and she could feel the heat rushing through her body. There was a pink blush on her face, and she could feel the heat in between her legs, causing her to squeeze them together in arousal. I want him so bad, Rangiku thought to herself. Rangiku left his bathroom and walked back into the living room, but as she walked up to him, her body started to move on its own. Before she knew it, she was standing in front of Naruto, who was sitting down as he looked up at her. She then leaned down and kissed him, causing Naruto's eyes to widen. Rangiku pulled away for air for just a second, and Naruto put his hand on her neck to try and push her away. Rangiku, you know we can't. Rangiku pressed her lips to his again as she straddled his lap. Naruto grabbed her hands that were cupping his face, but him doing that just made the position that they were in look more intimate. Rangiku then began to kiss down Naruto's neck, and Naruto began to speak. Rangiku, you're making this very difficult. I love Unohana. Rangiku said nothing as she continued to plant butterfly kisses up and down his neck. She then brushed her lips against his as he spoke. I'm not forcing you. At any time you can push me off, yet you haven't done so. You want this just as much as I do. So, do I have your consent? Naruto would say yes. She then kissed him again as he started to kiss her back. And she once again pulled away to catch her breath, and the both of them had a look of lust in their eyes. Rangiku could feel the appendage that was pressing against her crotch through the thin fabric of their Shihakusho pants. She reached down past the hem of said pants, and right as her fingers were about to curl around what she wanted, she then woke up with a start as she jumped out of the bed, leaving the wonderful dream that she was having. She groaned as she realized that her thighs were both wet and sticky as she pressed her thighs together before walking towards the bathroom to clean herself up. But guys, I'm going to end it off right there. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. Without further ado, I am out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay blessed, y'all.